Hey everyone, welcome to my channel and welcome back to my subscribers. This is where we talk about money, savings, and turning your hard-earned cash into wealth-building assets. This is Bald Guy Money. I am Bald Guy. Let's talk money. So in this video, we're going to cover gold and silver. Have we finally reached a point where the price is going to break out towards the upside? I'm going to talk about my predictions for the near term as well as the midterm. And I'm going to cover my fail-safe strategy when it comes to investing in precious metals. On top of that, I am also going to mention something that I saw recently on a YouTube channel. I am going to name the YouTuber. It is a silver YouTuber. So if you're interested in seeing that, make sure to watch to the very end to get the most out of this video. Please take a moment first before I get started. Take a moment right now. Hit the like button, please. It really helps the algorithm for these videos that I'm making to reach more people. Without that, I can't keep making these videos. I can't keep going on, 1,000 view videos. I really rely on your likes to help grow the channel. So I'm really asking you right now, just take a moment, hit the like button. Remember, as always, none of this is financial advice. And if you're looking for more Bald Guy content in between videos, because I do put a lot of work into the videos, so sometimes it takes me a long time to get them out, follow me on Instagram. I put out all kinds of stupid stuff on Instagram. Bald_guy_money. I'm posting almost daily and talking about the things that I'm doing from day to day with respect to investing. So, getting into it, we are talking about gold and silver, and the first thing I want to cover are the actual functions of gold and silver and how I define them as investment tools within my portfolio, or let's say vehicles for investment within my portfolio. Here it is. So, how I define gold is, above all, is as a store of wealth, because it is a strong hedge against inflation, and it's a safe or low-risk asset. When it comes to silver, I look at silver much differently. First of all, silver is a useful industrial metal. It's a medium hedge against inflation, and it's a medium-risk asset. It is not as safe as gold. So for the silver stackers who are already yelling at their computer screen saying I'm stupid and that the price of silver is going to go up much more than the price of gold, hold on everybody. There's still a lot of video to go. You know I back up everything I say with facts, with data, with analysis. It's coming. First, let's cover gold, then we're gonna cover silver, and you're going to see exactly, especially for you silver guys and girls, why I think there's going to be a big upside on silver. But let's start with gold, as I said. And the data I'm about to show you, it was actually data I prepared in response to a lot of crypto YouTubers out there who were trashing gold, saying, gold has been going down. Gold, if you invested in gold in 2011, you would have lost money. Let's pull up the first data. So my message to those crypto YouTubers then, and I'll reiterate it now, is that even at this point in the year, gold is outperforming its 2011 performance, which we know, for those of us who have been investing in gold for a long time, that was a bit of a peak with a blow-off top for gold. So in typical Bald Guy fashion, it's me against the world, and what I said in that video still stands today. Anyone who pulls out the line that gold has declined since 2011, or even if they say it's flat, they can shut it. Here is the data, here is the proof. And if you want more proof, I have more data. Here's more data. Just take a look at it. Here you can see that using the tried and true method of dollar cost averaging, which is buying the average price of an asset over time by spreading your purchases out, gold has slightly outperformed inflation, and it has proven itself to be a fantastic store of wealth and a relatively low-risk asset. Now that we've established why I look at gold the way I do, and coming back to my investment, really why I see it as a fantastic store of wealth, where do I think it's going in the near term, and where do I think it's going in the midterm? Just before I touch on those numbers, I just want to say that the absolute best strategy for gold investing, as far as I'm concerned, is the buy and hold strategy. Trading physical gold is actually really difficult unless you're a bullion dealer, because first of all, you have to have access to to a large amount of buyers, and you have to have access to a large amount of sellers. So again, I say for me, the best strategy is the buy and hold method. And as you can see in that data, as you saw in that data that I just presented, it's a fantastic way to store money, an alternative way to store money rather than holding it in a bank. So for those of us who use that classic method of buy and hold, let's pull up the next data chart. And this chart shows the price of gold over the last year or 12 months. And basically, as you can see, it has been chopping sideways despite the highest inflation levels in 30 years. In fact, we hit an all-time high at the beginning of the year. We dipped as low as $1,684, but since then we've been trading in between those two levels, and we're at a level of $1,847 November 20th as I'm making this video today. And it's surprising that gold hasn't broken out, especially because of stories like this. And despite the fact that we know that the 6.2% shown in the headline of this story from CNBC isn't a real inflation number, the fact that these are the highest inflation numbers we've seen in 30 years is absolutely a fact, because we've never created this much money in such a short period of time. Let's take a look at the next chart that I've prepared. And as you can see here, since gold bottomed out at about $1,729 per ounce back in September, we've seen a steady rise in the price of gold by 7%. So does that mean that we're ready to break out towards a new all-time high? I'm not so sure. For me, in the short term, or let's say at least till the end of the year or till the end of Q1 2022, I do see the price of gold continuing to increase on the back of high inflation. The level I think it's going to increase to is right around that previous all-time high, $1,954, and it can go as high as $2,100. Now, the reason I don't think it's going to go any higher is quite simple, and it's because of this. Bring up the next chart. As you can see here, gold isn't the only safe inflation hedge in town anymore. It is in direct competition for inflation hedge money with Bitcoin. And although Bitcoin is really creating its own path as it's still in price exploration mode, there does seem to be some slight correlation between gold and Bitcoin. What I specifically want to note here is the chart on the left being the price of gold over the last 12 months, and the chart on the right being Bitcoin over the last 12 months, is that there seemed to be some kind of relation between the two. I'm not saying this is an absolute relation, but just take a look at this. So early 2021, gold reaches an all-time high. Then a sell-off begins and it plummets down. This coincided, as you can see in the chart on the right, with a massive rise in the price of Bitcoin. Now, the opposite is also true. In the summer of 2021, when China started to crack down on miners, the price of Bitcoin went from $60,000 all the way down to about $30,000 per Bitcoin. And if you look again in the chart on the left, being gold, at the same time, this coincided with another summer top, not quite reaching the previous all-time high, but clearly representing a massive increase in the price of gold over that period. The only way I can explain this is by saying that there is clearly a battle going on between Bitcoin and gold to attract money that is hedging against inflation. Now, where do I think this is going? I don't think this is going to lead to a place where there's one winner and one loser. I basically think that we're just going to, at the end of the day, have two different methods of achieving the same thing. That said, I just want to address something quickly before I give my medium-term price prediction for gold, and it's actually touching something I saw recently on a YouTube channel called Yankee Stacker. There it is. I named him. And Yankee, in all his wisdom, calls cryptocurrencies gambling. And he seems to like to use the example of Shiba Inu as a way of proving that he's right. So I will say this. He is right about Shiba Inu. Shiba Inu is a joke. Meme coins like Shiba Inu or even Dogecoin, they have no real utility. They don't have any real scarcity. And they have given the crypto space a very bad reputation. But that is not what crypto is, And if you have been properly educated about what it is and the blockchain technology that stands behind it, you'll know exactly as I do that there's a lot more to it than that. Specifically the fact that the technologies that are being created now on a lot of the projects are revolutionary, almost a second layer to the internet. And much like the dot-com bubble, the winners and losers are starting to become more apparent, where we can see which projects are going to be the Amazon.coms of the future and which projects are, like the Shiba Inus and the Dogecoins, going to be the pets.com projects of the future. Look, and just like I said in my last silver video, if Yankee Stacker wants to come on my channel and debate me on this under the condition that he'll show his face, I'm ready for it. But he even said in his last video, right before he started shilling more dodgy mining stocks, that he's not interested in having a debate on this topic. And I think the reason that he doesn't want to have a debate on this topic is because he's concerned about his credibility. He's probably concerned that he won't do well in a debate like that. But the challenge stands all the same. And I want to say that even though I am passionate about delivering my message, I don't mean this as any disrespect to Yankee Stacker as a human, whoever he is behind the Yankee Stacker name. All I want to say is that I don't like his message, I don't like his methods, and I feel that there are a lot of people out there who are acting on the things he's saying, the things he's promoting on his channel, the things he's getting money to promote on his channel, and that I don't like. So, coming back to gold, is its growth capped somehow due to the performance of Bitcoin? Well, I'll have to say this, in the short term, the fact that Bitcoin exists and it is attracting a lot of this inflation hedge money, yeah, it is going to impact it. Even if you look at huge investors like Paul Tudor Jones, a guy who would traditionally, in times of inflation, invest anywhere from 5 to 10% of his portfolio in gold, actually, he's looking to Bitcoin more now as a hedge to inflation rather than gold. But that doesn't mean that gold is down and out. Like I said, I don't think this battle is going to produce a winner and a loser. I think we're going to just have two different ways of achieving the same thing. And this is why I'm looking at a range of, pull up the numbers, $2,700 to $3,000 per ounce of gold by 2026, meaning that we can expect a 46% to 62% increase in the price of gold from today. All of which will be inflation-related growth and should protect anyone from the 10% annual inflation level we're experiencing right now. And again, that is based on my adjusted numbers, not the official inflation numbers, which are much lower and much faker, in my opinion. Okay, so now to touch on silver. This one's actually going to be really easy because I did a very detailed video on this before, and the fact of the matter is I stick by my numbers. Let's pull up the first image. I just want to quickly show you all, and I warn you kind of how I mentioned at the beginning of the video that silver doesn't come without a certain level of risk. Please remember that silver is very manipulated and it has not performed as well as gold has versus the 2011 numbers. As you can see here, the average price of silver is today 26% lower in 2021 than it was back in 2011. This is just a reminder again from another video that I did. I'll link it up at the end of this one. In addition to that, as I mentioned at the start of the video, silver is not exactly the best hedge against inflation. Let's take a look at these numbers. As you can see here, in the dollar cost averaging scenario, you would have just underperformed versus inflation in that time with a negative 6% inflation adjusted return on investments in silver since 2011. But to all of you out there who think I'm hating on silver, that is not the case at all. Please remember, we are here to talk about turning your cash into wealth building assets. And if you're turning your cash into silver, it's clearly a better option than holding the money in the bank, which would have lost significantly more value over that period of time. And just remember this, the future for silver is really, really bright. Despite all of the manipulation that happens on the market, the future demand for silver is going to increase. And this is going to happen on the back of the world's green energy agenda, which is going to put a really big strain on the supply of silver in the coming years. And the reason for that is because silver has the highest electrical conductivity of any metal in the world, even more than copper. So as the future starts to look more like this, I expect the price of silver to shoot up to about $61 by 2026, which will actually perform better than gold according to my numbers. And for more details on this, please refer back to my silver price video. I will link it up at the end. I go through the exact reasoning why I think we're going to hit $61. Now, the reason I made this video is quite simple. I just want to calm everybody down out there who's a bit nervous about what's happening right now. There's a lot of inflation, the price of gold and silver are chopping sideways, and my message is basically this. If you're invested in gold and silver, don't panic, okay? As I illustrated with gold, it's been a fantastic hedge against inflation over the last 11 years, despite the fact that we had a blow-off top back in 2011. And with silver, I've illustrated that it's been a decent hedge against inflation. It hasn't fully hedged against inflation though, but the future for silver is really bright. And those are the things that I really want to make everybody out there who might be feeling a little bit nervous understand and calm them down to not do anything drastic. The second part of my message is this, that I am taking advantage of what is happening in the cryptocurrency space right now. I am not listening to people like Yankee Stacker, and I'm not getting paid to give you this message. I am making it with you all in mind, saying that you don't have to be at one extreme or the other. You don't have to be team gold. You don't have to be team crypto or team Bitcoin. The water doesn't have to be hot. It doesn't have to be cold. I personally prefer the water to be warm, and that's where I am right now. I'm in a mixture of both. I'm comfortable knowing my savings are protected in gold and silver, and I am enjoying the profits, albeit in a riskier environment, from the blockchain revolution to pay for lifestyle improving expenses. Now, if you're not familiar with the term blockchain, that means you don't fully understand crypto, and that's perfectly okay. That's not a slight against you, it's just a fact. But as someone who genuinely cares about his viewers, I highly recommend you guys get educated, you guys and girls out there watching. I highly recommend you all get educated on the topic of blockchain technology. And it doesn't cost anything, especially with respect to YouTube. The only thing you have to invest is your time and your willingness to be open to different messages. In addition to that, you don't have to get all of your information from me only. I don't think that I should be your only source of information, but I do also want to recommend another YouTube channel that I watch regularly. I think the guy is brilliant, and I think for those of you who are in the precious metals community and are in that echo chamber, you absolutely have to check this channel out. It is called Invest Answers, and it's hosted by an independently wealthy individual. His name is James. His channel has grown phenomenally over the last few months. I was one of the early subscribers to his channel. Check him out for a more balanced point of view on what's happening out there in the market, okay? I ask you to do that. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to drop me a like. Remember, it's very important for me. And as always, I wish you all success. I wish you all happiness. And I do hope to see you in the next one. Adios.